Ryan Thanos won. He infinity snapped half the fandom away, and for some time, it seemed like Star Wars' future was uncertain. Until the episode 9 trailer dropped, and it blew us all away. Fans were crying, fans were clapping, and broken friendships between Star Wars fans that ended like this.
She doesn't need training! Every single Jedi needs to be trained how to use the Force! Rey is the Force! Are you serious, kid? You're so pathetic!
Or instantly mended. It seems Star Wars has returned, but there's still more than half of the fandom missing. That's why JJ has an in-game plan. A plan that will unite the entire fandom and more. What's his in-game plan? Let's find out.
Hello there.
Before we start, we're giving away a free Episode 9 Rise of Skywalker shirt from our store. Link in the description if you want to buy one. To enter this giveaway, simply subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below your thoughts of the Episode 9 teaser trailer. And one last thing. Before we continue, I wanted to warn you that what you're about to watch may contain potential spoilers for Episode 9. So if you don't want Episode 9 to be potentially spoiled, get out of here. Seriously. However, if you're curious, let's continue. Before the dark times, there existed George Lucas's vision. 9 golden movies, minus Phantom Menace, that made Star Wars rise to prominence. Fans deeply loved them, and for years the Star Wars fandom lived in peace, patiently waiting for George Lucas's next masterpiece. Then, almost out of the blue, George Lucas announced he sold off Star Wars to Disney, and at the time, very little seemed wrong. Kathleen Kennedy was appointed the new leader. She assured us that she stayed true to George Lucas's vision of Star Wars.
Bullshit.
They released The Force Awakens. It was an arguably good film. Fans were mostly satisfied. And then, Thanos entered the Star Wars universe. That's when we entered the dark times. Little did we know, Ryan Thanos' The Last Jedi was actually an Infinity Gauntlet with all 6 Infinity Stones attached. We got played, then lost half the fandom. The result? Dying Star Wars sales. The solo flop in Star Wars' largest civil war to date. Right now, Star Wars is on critical life support. Disney needs help. So who does Disney call? The Captain America of Star Wars, J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yes! Oh, man.
The stakes are high for Abrams. If Abrams fails on Episode 9, his reputation and Disney's will be tarnished for life. So, understandably, he hesitates to return. And I don't blame him. To face off the almighty Thanos, who has all 6 Infinity Stones and 90-inch arms, would be a suicide mission. JJ needed an in-game plan, a plan so good that he'll be able to undo Thanos' snap, save the Star Wars universe, and end the civil war in the fandom. The problem? He didn't have a plan yet, but his luck was going to change when he rewatched The Last Jedi and found his in-game plan.
Look, he's still got the stones,
So let's get him. Use them to bring everyone back.
JJ knew exactly what he needed to do. He was going to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, put them on his new gauntlet, otherwise known as Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and snap the fandom out of the Soul Realm. To be clear, the 6 Infinity Stones aren't really stones. They're problems symbolized as Infinity Stones. And just as each Infinity Stone has unique power, each problem's resolution has a unique restorative power on the divided fandom. When all these problems are solved, Abrams will have successfully reversed Thanos' Infinity Snap. So, what are the Infinity Stones or problems Abrams has to solve? Here they are. Number 1, the Power Stone, the Knights of Ren. Number 2, the Space Stone, the new trilogy's disconnect with the original trilogy. Number 3, the Reality Stone, Mary Sue Ray's unexplained powers. Number 4, the Time Stone, Snoke's suspicious death. Number 5, the Mind Stone, Luke's unexpected death. And by the end of this video, I'll reveal the Soul Stone to you. For now, let's start with the Power Stone. The Knights of Ren hold the key to the Power Stone. Kylo Ren is weak right now. Honestly, he's more of a whiny emo kid rather than an intimidating villain.
Traitor!
Kylo needs some major backup. And he's about to get it when the Knights of Ren return in Episode 9 from a secret faraway place called the Beyond. This is Abrams' mystery box. The Beyond is in the unknown regions, or the place Snoke and the First Order originates from, and it's also where other dangerous Force entities are lurking. What entities? Maybe a new MacGuffin, or something even more insidious, like Snoke's hidden apprentice. In the Last Jedi visual companion magazine, it was revealed Snoke had a second apprentice. Although this apprentice's whereabouts is currently unknown, it's likely Snoke wanted the Knights of Ren to find and bring his second apprentice. And due to this, there's possibly someone more powerful than Kylo coming to claim the throne. More interestingly, Snoke's second apprentice may not be the mysterious person returning with the Knights of Ren. Instead, it could be Snoke himself, or maybe even Emperor Palpatine, as I'll cover later in this video. Whomever returns, one thing remains clear. J.J. Abrams will use the Knights of Ren to bring a new MacGuffin, or even an unexpected villain. Whatever it is unpredictable, like the Space Stone. At this point, the new trilogy and the original trilogy feel like they exist in two separate universes. In the new trilogy, they've undone most of the progress that was made in the original trilogy. For example, the Empire has risen once again as the First Order. The Rebel Alliance are back where they started, helplessly outnumbered. The Jedi are back to where they started, nearly extinct, or even fully extinct, as I'll cover later in the video. So Star Wars went full circle back to where it began. Why does the new trilogy feel like a disconnect from the original trilogy, and will Abrams reconnect the trilogies? In fact, I believe he already has, starting with his choice to bring back the original trilogy characters. He's already brought back Lando, Luke Skywalker, Yoda, Palpatine, and a few more OT characters. I'm even putting money down that Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost is returning. So Abrams took the first step, and he's also taking the second step when Rey and her squad revisited the old fallen Death Star. This is huge. Episode 9 is finally building off of the original trilogy's events. In fact, they've taken a step further with Palpatine's return. However, what's even more surprising is Abrams' genius plan to seal George Lucas's saga. Nobody's talking about this because it's not really obvious, but it's undeniably important. If they're able to pull this off, not only will they be able to create new Star Wars sagas, they'll also be able to get the whole fandom on board for future films. So how will Abrams pull it off? With a two-part plan. The first part isn't really news because you already know it, but the second part is the part that'll change the future of Star Wars forever. So let's start with the first part's obvious plan to end the Skywalker saga. We all know this is going to happen. Even the title says it, the rise of Skywalker. In short, the Skywalker family is coming to an end in episode 9, and as a result, Princess Leia will die. Kylo Ren will die, although I'm not really sure how he's going to die. Anything with the name Skywalker is going to die. Again, not news, but part 2 is the future-changing plan to end the Jedi and the Sith. Hear me out with this one. Episode 8 is called The Last Jedi, right? What's the theme of The Last Jedi? To kill the past. In the film, Luke Skywalker, the last official Jedi, dies. Where does it leave the galaxy now? With only one potential Jedi. Rey. However, Rey hasn't officially sided with the Jedi yet. It's true though. Rey is a light side Force user, but that doesn't make her a Jedi. So if there are no Jedis left, what about the Sith? According to canon material, there are no more Sith alive. Snoke isn't a Sith, Kylo isn't a Sith. The only person that can be a Sith, if he comes back, is Palpatine. And that's if he comes back. So, where does that leave the Jedi and the Sith? Pretty much extinct. This was secretly done on purpose. Disney wants to create future trilogies. They just can't do that with complete creative freedom if the Jedi and Sith still exist, as they'll be forced to build off of it. Instead, they'll create new Force factions by the end of episode 9 so they can start with a completely clean slate for future sagas. However, I do want to note that I've been wrong before. It's a bold move and definitely one that can anger a lot of fans. But if Abrams goes down this route, he'll seal George Lucas's saga and be able to start using the Reality Stone. Let's face it, Star Wars' reality is changing rapidly. The established rules of Star Wars, the Master and Apprentice model, the years of training, the mysterious nature of the Force, suddenly changed with one character, Rey. Who knew a struggling scavenger on Jakku would break all the established rules of Star Wars with her unnatural ability to fly the Millennium Falcon? Dare I say better than Han Solo? And here's the best part. She did it on her first try. She also beat Kylo Ren, a master lightsaberist, if that's the thing, on her first try. And if that wasn't enough for you, she even learns rare Force abilities like Obi-Wan's mind trick, Force grabbing, and even reads into Kylo's mind without any training. Wow, none of that makes sense. Rey shouldn't be able to do any of these things. She's literally breaking Star Wars' reality. So how can JJ explain Mary Sue Rey's abilities while staying true to Star Wars? There's one way. It requires finally revealing Rey's true parents. Look, after 2 movies, we still don't know who Rey's parents are. She's neither a Kenobi, a Skywalker, or a Solo. Kyle lied when he said Rey's parents are nobodies. I mean, how would he know? He couldn't even read her thoughts correctly. Okay, let's be real here. Rey can't come from a nobody, otherwise she wouldn't be able to do the things she's able to do. So, with those options cleared out, who can Rey's real parents be? Surprisingly, The Last Jedi has an answer. Do you remember the scene where Rey fell into the Black Pit on Octo 2? In case you didn't know, the pit she fell into is actually a Force Nexus, or a concentrated place of the Force, similar to the Dark Cave in Dagobah, that tells only the truth. Anyways, when she walks in front of the mirror, what does Rey see? A line of Reys, similar to the line of clones in episode 2. You can see where this is going now. When Rey asks the mirror, "Who's my daddy?" what does the mirror show Rey? Herself. And that's the scary truth. Rey's a clone. Look, it sounded crazy when I first heard it too, but after thinking about it more, I feel like it's the explanation Abrams intended all along. Think about it. Why was Rey stranded on Jakku? Someone must have hid her from someone, similar to Obi-Wan hiding Luke from the Empire until the time came. Also, why did Yoda, who is knowledgeable about Rey's origins, say,
"That library contained nothing that the girl Rey does not already possess"?
You know, at the time, I thought he was referencing to the Jedi books, but if you reread the part, already possesses, you realize Yoda could have meant that Rey already possesses the power of those Jedi books, meaning Rey may be a clone. So, how could Rey know everything about piloting, lightsaber fighting, and advanced Jedi abilities without any training? The only explanation that makes sense, and that's consistent, is Rey's a clone. Although I'm not sure who Rey's a clone of. One thing's for sure, Rey is not a Mary Sue. She's a clone of someone powerful, and whomever cloned her, probably the First Order, also cloned Emperor Palpatine. I know, this sounds like a stretch, but hear me out. Emperor Palpatine foresaw his own death. In fact, before he died, he created the contingency plan, or a plan to destroy the Galactic Republic and build the First Order in unknown regions in the case Palpatine died. It makes you think, did Palpatine's contingency plan succeed? Well, it did. After all, the First Order rose and Snoke became the new leader. But it makes you think, if Palpatine foresaw his own death, why didn't he just make a clone of himself and save it somewhere in the unknown regions? After all, Palpatine was aware of both the concept of cloning from the prequels and the unknown regions. So it makes perfect sense that Palpatine may have cloned his own body. If this is true, then the young Palpatine will return in episode 9, and when he does, he'll activate the Time Stone. This is when Abrams intends to shock the audience. By now, we already know Palpatine may return. However, who will bring Palpatine back? I'll give you a hint. Ladies can't resist him. I'm talking about this sexy guy, Snoke! And it's Snoke's character that'll be the Time Stone of Star Wars. Let me explain. When Snoke entered the picture, he built the First Order, became the most powerful Star Wars villain ever, even beating old Palps, and eliminated the Last Jedi, as I've explained in my last video. So Snoke's done a marvelous job until he got the Fruit Ninja treatment. However, this is when the surprise comes, because Snoke is either one of two things: dead or alive. But I'm going to have to stop here before I reveal Snoke's unlikely fate. I'm saving that explanation and the rest of the Infinity Stones for part 2.
What?
I know, but these are long videos. They take time to edit, and if you enjoy this video, feel free to give me a like below. Also, don't forget about our shirt giveaway. To enter, just subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below of your episode 9 teaser reaction. Thank you guys so much for watching, and may the Force be with you all.